Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Affinity Stream Podcast. I'm Contrell, joined as always, Charlie, Sarah, Riley. How are you guys?
Good.
Good, awesome. And today we have a special guest joining us, world-renowned historian Bill. How are you, Bill?
I'm old. I lived history.
Thanks for joining us.
Glad to do it.
All right. Today's movie is called Napoleon 2023. It is rated R with a runtime of 2 hours, 38 minutes. And if you have not seen this epic, spoilers are ahead. It's an epic detail of the rise and fall of Napoleon Bonaparte on his journey to power. But before we get started, please get in touch with us on our social accounts. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. We would appreciate it if you give us a like, follow, subscribe at Affinity Streaming Podcast.
Good job.
Good job. Look
Thank
at
you.
you.
Thank you very much. Only 2 years in, and I got it. So this movie, Napoleon, directed by Ridley Scott, released November 22nd, 2023 in the U.S., starring Joaquin Phoenix. Rotten Tomatoes critics is 58%, audience is 59%, and a 5.8 on Film Affinity, so it's like right down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, what did you think of this movie?
I don't think I'm that into it. I didn't like the format that much. It felt like the scenes were kind of just happening and just one from the next. There was no real like emotional connection to any of the characters. People just kind of coming and going and things kind of just happening, and then it was just over. I don't know. It felt like I was reading like an excerpt from like a history book.
Exactly. It was like a documentary. It was like and that year happened that, and then met her, and then happened that, and then this battle, and then this battle, and then she dies, and then this battle.
Yeah, there's no like personal touch.
No, at all.
Yeah, I felt like it was completely lacking the like development of him as a person. Like that would have been more interesting to me, but all the time where it's like, okay, how did he become like king? Or like even the times when he was like in exile, like they showed nothing of that. And I feel like like that had to be important to like his personal like development.
I think the most important part is like on the letters. Like I feel like the what it builds the story, like the like to know him, it's like the letters, and it's like this is like so little. It was a voiceover for like 20 seconds. So it's like what?
What about you, Bill?
I liked it. I look at things from an historical perspective. It was entertaining. I liked the uniforms and the costumes. That was fascinating to me. So much detail went into that. There were many CGI companies. If you watch the credits at the end, it was unbelievable, the amount of different types of CGI that was in. A guy like Napoleon, who is a true military genius, and he's a very complex character, they couldn't do justice in 2 hours and 36 minutes or whatever it was, in my estimation. And I agree with Sarah. It was disjointed. It went from this, it went from that. My one comment was, I guess they spent more time on him crawling under the table to get to his wife than they spent in the whole Italian campaign. And they didn't even mention what was going on in Spain, which was huge. Sarah, there's a shout out for you. Spain. Baby, Spain. So, I mean, I liked it. I look at weird things like the cannons firing. When cannons would fire, those things, if you were standing behind a cannon, it would kill you. They came flying back. And little things like when they took over the castle in the very beginning, that fortress, and they were shooting the cannons, they didn't have them all tied down. They would go about 50 yards in the opposite direction if they tried shooting them without having the proper protection against the recoil. So I see these wimpy little cannons with a little bit of smoke coming out. They were just massive concussions. And I see these little tiny pea shooters going off, and it bugs me. But aside from that, it was really interesting to see the different uniforms and things. But like Napoleon was
visual wise, it was good. I think like the cinematography and everything, it was good. The music wasn't that good. I mean, it wasn't outstanding, it was fine. But I think the cinematography, it was nice. Like, and also like they made the point, like it was always like a very like often like in a cold like blue like filter that it means like
I find when they just put a filter on it, it's like lazy.
It is, yeah,
It's
but,
very
but
lazy.
it's lazy, but at the same
Especially
time,
when
it
every
sets
scene
the
has
mood.
it.
So it's like that could help to like maybe feel something
But
about
maybe,
that.
but maybe set the mood with like
with a
some
good
writing.
good writing, yeah, because
Instead
I feel
of
like
just going, oh, we'll just slap a blue filter on.
'Cause
And
I
then
didn't-
people know to feel
yeah,
sad.
exactly, because the writing was not
Like,
okay.
I thought the actors themselves were good. I think it was just the lack of writing in the script
It is
development
the script
that suffered.
completely.
Yeah,
The
and Bill,
script.
I agree with you. As much as I hate long movies, I felt like this one should have been longer. Like there should have been more
content,
more stuff. Like more. It just felt like it went too fast. Like I feel like I should have known. Like maybe if I had known more about history,
it would be more.
It should be more focused.
Exactly. For me, it would be like, don't try to explain all his life because it's crazy. Just focus on one battle and what happened in that time period, and then you can explain and feel the character. Here it was like, it was like a biography. It's like, sure.
Probably I would jump in like he's already emperor. He's having problems with his wife, and maybe his exile, like that kind of period.
Or maybe more on him and his wife, which I felt.
That'd be like the focal point of the movie. But then it's like
you're right.
It's just that short time
period.
Focus
on a certain.
It's like a year
thing instead of this whole.
They had an interesting relationship. It was very toxic.
But we didn't even get that much of a sense of it.
We're just like they loved each other, but they hate each other, and what's happening?
All the scenes would just like end, and then they come back, and it's like obviously years have gone by, but we have no idea what happened.
No. Yeah, and she just like gets sick one scene, and the other scene she dies. It's like so not like compelling for like any character.
Yeah, and one thing I don't know who said it, there was no emotional. Like I could care less about any of these.
You
characters.
cannot.
No, like I had a hard time picking a favorite character.
I think about it, it's like I don't even get the sense from the movie did Napoleon want to be emperor? Did he not want it? Was he excited to be emperor? I have no idea. He just it looks like he kind of just became it.
I mean, he looks like he was because he was like all for friends,
But like barely. He doesn't even look like he's happy about it. He's just like, I'm emperor.
Yeah,
but I think that was just his personality. Like even when he was like so happy with his wife, he still seemed like kind of stone faced. Like I just took that to be like, okay, that's how he must have been in terms of his own personality.
I mean, like it didn't seem like he tried very hard to be emperor, but that's like a fault of the movie. Where it's like, although I think about it, I'm comparing this to Gladiator, where you have like all those like behind the scenes like machinations, and he's like trying to pull levers and stuff. It just seems like he just kind of ended up as emperor from this movie, where he's just like, oh, I guess I'm emperor now.
Bill, favorite scene, favorite moment, emotional moment in the movie.
There were a lot of interesting scenes. I like the one where he said, "Shall we vote now?" Where he had his military guys lined up, his soldiers lined up, ready to shoot the folks. I like that. That's a convincer.
Shall we vote?
I also thought I cracked up when he was like trying to get Alexander, the Tsar of Russia. Hey, you got any sisters? No. How about another one? She's only 16. That's okay. That's just a detail. So this guy was on the prowl, I guess. But the real Napoleon had loads of energy, was very intelligent, a very active guy. This guy, Joaquin Phoenix, was kind of sluggish throughout the movie, I thought, compared to the real guy. I read a number of books on him.
Okay.
So he's pretty interesting, but that's what I liked.
Yeah,
what about you guys?
The battle scene.
Those are a highlight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Ridley Scott is known for that with Gladiator.
Yeah, I think about Gladiator, and it's like, okay, he took that, and like he has a lot more money now, and shows.
Yeah.
But the cannonballs hit the frozen lake, and all the people that was my favorite. Yeah,
that was my favorite too, and I just like. Even the images, and also
the water images.
The water images with the blood in the water. And also, there was like such a small scene, but he was just saying like, oh, well, clearly my generals, the one like battle he lost, he was like, clearly my generals can't line things up like I do. And he's like, it's just geometry. It's simple. Like that made me want like more of like how intelligent minded he was in terms of like battle design and everything. So I feel like that's what he's known.
Just shifting the blame. Where he's like, it's not my fault we lost. I'm perfect. It's their fault.
But
I would have won if I was the one.
I mean, that's partially true, but also like you can't make an argument that he wasn't like intelligent with battlefield design. That's just what I wanted more of when he's like, it's just geometry. It's just
his
that
mind.
like, I just wanted more of his mind and how
you wanted
he
special effects going through his eye and showing his brain.
I mean, I haven't watched a lot
Synapses, Bill.
Wait. I haven't watched a lot of like war movies or anything, but the only thing I could compare it to was in Game of Thrones, where they're always like moving pieces and like trying to like map it out. And I just like wish like they did that while they were at the camp sometimes, just mapping out like here's the attack plan.
Yeah.
For my favorite scene, or like more emotional, it was like when he made her like to sign up for like not being an emperor anymore.
Oh,
like
divorcing.
Like divorce thing. Well, yeah, I don't know why he said that.
Sign up to not be an emperor anymore.
Yeah, whatever. It felt like it felt like, I don't know, like she didn't want to, and you had to go it for friends, and because he was like very so driven.
Yeah. No.
Katie will smack
Did you have a favorite?
Yeah, I think any of the battles. They were really great, really well executed.
Yeah, the battles were good.
And all right.
Yeah.
How about a favorite character or favorite actor? No, yeah, I didn't have a favorite character.
Everyone was kind of flat.
Yeah,
for me in this movie.
I gave it to Phoenix just because of the default to him, because his past work. Yeah. He won on past accolades.
I don't know if I'd give it to him for this.
Yeah,
he's pretty, like I said, flat.
What about you, Bill?
I go with that too. I mean, they could have called it Josephine and Napoleon. So much of it was about their relationship. But he was just portraying Napoleon the way he was told to portray Napoleon. Yeah. He's not just freestyling, I don't think.
No.
But I'd have to go with Phoenix also, whose real name is Bottom. Joaquin Raphael Bottom.
Wow. Did not know that.
Found that out. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So we kind of talked about what we would have changed, and I guess you brought it up, Bill. I feel like if it had been called, what was his wife's name? Josephine and Napoleon. I feel like that would have been more interesting.
They like the short title, so just Josephine. She was
played by Vanessa Kirby, who was recently cast as Mrs. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I thought she did a great job also.
Yeah, she's fine.
Yeah, so I think, like you said, a narrower focus on his life than the. What would you change, Sarah?
The script, the complete script, and like instead of like trying to explain everything, focus on one time period of his and try to let people know who was Napoleon, not what he did. Yeah. We know what he did. It's written, So I wanted to know more about him and personality wise, and I feel like they just like brush it off like so easy. Like, okay, you had the wife, and then you have like this weird relationship with, and then you were upset with friends, and then you went to a lot of battles and whatever. It was like very like superficial thing. So I would like change the script and. Yeah, like even like trying to explain everything. No, just explain him. That's the most interesting part. So,
I agree. Like I felt like the script is what made it suffer because the characters couldn't do enough with it, and it didn't tell enough about him and his background. It just felt very flat, as we've said. It needs something to make it better. Else. Yeah, it just was really missing something.
How about you, Bill?
I agree with everybody, but what's the basic question? I'm daydreaming here about things about the show.
What would you change?
What would you have changed about the movie?
I would have had Joe Pesci as Napoleon.
Who?
Or, Napoleon, the big difference is Napoleon was so much shorter than everybody, but I didn't think Phoenix really was. So Hervé Villechaize might have been better.
I know. I thought about that.
Yeah.
Or Mini-Me. Or Shaq.
Or Shaq.
They would notice the difference in height between them, for sure. And I had Dolly Parton down as Josephine also. That was Hey,
Well, she
what
was
can I
supposed to be
say?
older, so I guess she was older.
Really?
I know.
Yeah, she was supposed to be older than him. All right. So, which one of these characters, if any, would you think deserves a prequel, sequel, spinoff? Riley.
I mean, the hard thing is, like, I want Napoleon, but I want a different Napoleon. I want battle and mind and all of that.
More Napoleon.
So, yeah, maybe I guess a prequel in terms of how he, like, actually got to the point he did, because I felt like they just skipped all those major things. Like, how did he get into war in the first place? Like,
I feel like they assumed you would have a more working knowledge of Napoleon's history going into the movie,
don't.
which I didn't really.
But like, you know, what do you need to know? He was a general, and he.
But I mean, I feel like you need to know, like,
the mind.
Just like they put Waterloo on the map. Like, you just oh, here comes Waterloo. Like, you're supposed to know, like, what Waterloo. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I felt like they think the audience should know, like, the whole.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's for me. That was like the only moment that was like, because they even had like the dramatic drop from the music.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember what it was, but it was basically dun dun dun.
Also,
Setting the
like,
it was
Bill,
like a name drop.
did they actually have like drummers like walking on the lines?
Yeah.
And the trumpet.
How else did they had? Because you can't hear over, like you can't shout, you can't.
But, like,
so you have the drums, and it also gets people's blood going and keeps them in step and in line.
That's right.
Who volunteers for that position?
Well, who
drummer.
volunteers to run headfirst into the camp?
At least they have a gun.
The front line of the.
I would rather be the drummer who stands behind everyone.
I think we've learned
on
from
the
that.
side,
I
in the
think
front.
generals have learned from that. You don't need a drummer, and you don't need a guy who carries the flag to let them know, like the guy
Who you
died on
are.
that horse. Like, he wouldn't drop that flag. Like, he was like,
Well,
let the
well,
go.
Yeah.
Well, no, but that's important.
War was really different back then.
You have no way to communicate except by waving flags.
I know, but they had the flag of their country. Like, as he's retreating, he's still holding the
Regiment.
flag.
Well, that lets all the soldiers know, our flag.
We're going that way. Yeah.
So you think, Bill, that the battle scenes were accurate, like
They were.
costume-wise and
They were.
structure-wise? Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
the battle scenes were very accurate. The reason why they march in lines is because they were using smoothbore muskets that were like shotguns. There was no rifling, so you couldn't hit somebody 50 yards away. So when a massed volley of 200 or 500 guys would send the shot all over the place. So that's why they had to be in lines, and then they would train and get off 3 rounds per minute.
Okay.
If they had, then the Civil War came along, the American Civil War, and these guys had rifles, and they could hit somebody at 300 or 400 yards away. So that was a totally different, but they were still using the same tactics as the 18th century and the early 19th century. So, but that looked very realistic to me with the big blocks. And when the horses were coming, when the cavalry was coming, they called them dragoons, not cavalry. I said they're going to go into the boxes. They've got to form squares, and they squared up. It was very authentic.
Yeah,
Cool.
I really
Nice.
like. You could tell they put a lot of like effort into making those battle scenes.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice. All right, so Bill, in the end, are you recommending this movie to friends and family?
Yes, I will. I would recommend it. I've got a lot of buddies. I do historical reenactment, Revolutionary War type stuff too, and I'll tell them to watch it, and I would recommend it for sure. It's worth seeing. It's entertaining. It's long, but I would focus on Napoleon, a very complex guy, and the thing that made him a genius was not going the length of the table to get to his wife. It was his battlefield and his tactical prowess. They beat the pants off all the great armies of Europe for years. It was nuts. The guy's a hell of a leader. So they didn't show that nearly enough. That's what I would do differently, and I would recommend it as one snapshot of what he may have been.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Riley,
Nice.
recommend?
If you're interested in wars, and maybe if you have more of a background, then yeah, but I would definitely say if I were to go into it again, I would want to, like, I don't know, read something small beforehand so that I just felt more competent before I went into the movie.
Makes sense.
I don't think so.
No.
I would rather like read and see documentaries than the movie about him.
I think I agree with you. I think so. Charlie?
Yeah, but like I think it's more because I'm like a fan of like Ridley Scott.
Okay.
So it's like more like I'm coming from that perspective, and also
You're
I
biased.
yeah, well, I mean, I'm not recommending to like everyone, but it's like I'm not upset that I saw this movie. So like if you're like a fan of Ridley Scott and you want to kind of like it's cute, like visually it's great.
Visually, it's
it's
great.
like
Visually, it's great.
progression. And I do like war movies, so I do
Like,
enjoy those battles. But there's
production-wise,
only
it's
like
good.
3 or 4. So.
Nice. So, Sarah, since you're not recommending this movie, will you recommend a movie that some of the actors have been in? What have you
Joaquin
got?
Phoenix has been like in a lot, so I would recommend one. It's called Her.
I love that movie.
That is, yeah,
Love
it
it.
That's
is.
my recommendation.
I love
too.
it. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the concept. I like the concept, and it was like a cute story, and
it's-
also makes you think.
now
It's
that's-
getting here. It's
now
coming.
that's actually relevant.
Yeah, it's coming.
No, people
Should I
already
watch it?
people
Yeah.
already are.
It's
I know, but I'm
coming.
saying
What's
it's-
it's already here.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it is
it
here.
was very like
There's already companies that you can date.
yeah.
To the AI.
So
Nice.
yep.
I
So
have-
this
yeah,
is
I
the
have
reality.
one.
You have a date with an eye tonight? Oh.
So her,
Yeah.
Riley.
I mean, I honestly haven't seen many movies from the people in here. I think the only one is Joker. So,
Oh, Joker's a great one.
yeah, I mean,
Joker's
Joker was
a good
good, and I felt like at some points, I felt like he was bringing like even that character into this movie a bit. Maybe it's just because it's like the main movie that I've seen him in before, and I was just like equating them. But I felt like the facial expressions and stuff were like,
No.
I don't know, it was like overlapping a bit with when like the Joker's like really like depressed.
Yeah, I don't think Joker he was playing very similar to how he did in Gladiator, though.
Yes.
The same kind
Yeah.
of like
Yes.
almost the same thing. I guess it was
Okay.
a similar role, but it was
It was similar role.
yeah.
So, and
But
you're
he
like-
played, but he played it out like the same way. The same kind of mostly quiet guy, but then every now and then he yells.
Yeah, like he snaps. Yeah. But
There's, like, a little bit
you're this
unhinged.
actor. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
your body. This
And-
is your
yeah.
voice and face. You just can do that much. You cannot.
Wow, I mean, some actors disappear into the role.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I don't know.
What about you, Bill? You want to recommend a movie from actors in this
Joaquin
movie?
Phoenix is completely different.
Phoenix, Walk the Line. I like that movie a lot.
Oh, Walk the Line. He
But
was
he's really good in that movie.
Johnny Cash, correct?
Yep.
All right.
Johnny
I guess everybody's
Cash.
recommending Phoenix movies. I'll go with one too. The Village. Have you ever seen that?
Village?
M.
I
Night
think
Shyamalan.
so. I mean,
A lot of people hate it,
Yeah,
but
that's what I haven't seen.
a lot of people hate it. But I really
You
enjoyed that
loved it?
movie. I liked it.
Oh, okay.
You haven't seen The Gladiator? You haven't
I
seen
actually
it?
haven't seen Gladiator.
Okay.
Yeah,
what?
I've seen it.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right, The Village
That one and
is
Joker.
gonna be
Yeah.
my. Yeah, Joker is a good movie.
But
It's just been a
Um,
while since I've seen Gladiator. It was good.
But Vanessa Kirby was in Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. just
Yes.
in
I
case
saw
I
that.
saw.
anyone wanted to go that route.
I didn't.
All right, guys. Every week we give a shout out of the week. It's a person, place, or thing we want to acknowledge. So we're gonna let Riley go first this week. Riley, can you give us your shout out of the week?
I was trying to think of a shout out because I didn't have anything super exciting, and I was like, "What's like French that I can shout out?" And then I just started going with like French toast and French fries and all these things. So that's my stupid shout out of the week.
All right.
my shout out. It's valid. I like it.
Thanks.
Don't make you awkward. My shout out goes to the writers, script writers.
That we just dissed the whole
Please?
time.
Please. No, I didn't like this one, but
Yeah,
now you
no,
can
no.
tell and see how important it is. Like that you do like a great job. So please, people, like they're creative, like go into script writing because we need them. That's all.
Yes.
All right, Charlie, go ahead.
Nah, I don't have a shout.
You don't
Oh
have
my
Bill.
God.
Do you have a
No.
shout out of the week?
Yeah, shout outs to you for figuring out what I was doing wrong so I could actually get in on this podcast.
Hey!
Nice. And to all the viewers that complain about Charlie never having a shout out of the week, we've talked to him about it. He's working on it. So
Yeah.
just letting you know for next time.
Yeah, make sure you send your letters to I don't care.
I actually have two shout outs this week.
Make up
One
for
is
Charlie.
to
Oh, one for him and one for you.
no, yeah, to make up for Charlie. I just got addicted to this dumb TV show on Apple
Oh
TV+.
no!
Mhm.
It's called The Buccaneers. It's on the line of like Downton Abbey and like
Okay.
Gilded Age and
Like
what's
a
the
histor-
other
a-
one?
A historical drama.
yeah, Shonda. What's the Shonda Rhimes one on Netflix? Bridgerton.
Oh,
You're
wow.
gentle, yeah.
I thought
I'm
that
really,
You're really into
You're
it.
enjoying
really
that
into
show.
it. So I wanted to say that, and I also want to shout out my two co-hosts, Sarah and Riley, because we've been watching weekly. We've been watching episodes of Smallville together. Bill, I don't know if you ever heard of the show Smallville, but it's my favorite show of all time.
Sure, I have. Yeah.
And Riley and Sarah have been rewatching. They're watching for the first time. They've been rewatching it with me, and it just brings me joy every week to watch it with those two. So I just want to bring that up and let you guys know that I really appreciate it.
It's getting better.
It's getting better, yeah.
It's never been bad. So
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Charlie, what movie are we doing next week?
I don't remember. I know we said something. Oh, Anatomy of a Fall.
Anatomy of a Fall.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Bill, for joining us. We really appreciate your expertise because we don't know anything about history. We're dummies.
And bottles.
So we appreciate it. We look forward to having you back when we do anything historically relevant. For Riley, Sarah, Charlie, I'm Contrell. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.